Gonna show you a bodyweight workout today. I'm out here on the east coast of South Korea on a little trip, no gym, no nothing. So I'm gonna show you just a very short upper body bodyweight workout that you can do with very minimal equipment, okay? I'm gonna do some outside in the yard, but first of all, I found a door frame here where you can do a few pull-ups. So we'll do a couple sets of that, get warmed up, and then go outside. Let's get into it. That was all right. Maybe a little bit not sturdy enough, so I was worried that the wood frame was gonna come off there, but I think it will just survive. Actually, it's starting to peel a little bit, so I'm not sure I can do the second one. Probably can't do any more. Let's head outside. Gonna take you through a cheeky workout today. Nothing too complicated. Did one set of pull-ups. The door frame wasn't strong enough, so we're gonna scratch that. Just do some push-ups, variations. That'll be enough. Maybe some arms if I can pick up something heavy, and some stretches with the legs. Just some fun stuff. When you're out on holiday, you don't really wanna be, making things too complicated. Whatever you can do with the most minimal equipment, that's what we're going to. So let's start off with some push-ups. Just gonna warm up with some normal push-ups. Just 20 kind of normal push-ups, warm-ups. Main thing here is to tuck in your elbows. Don't want your elbows flaring out because that hurts the wrist. And that's it, you warmed up. Now we're gonna do a slightly more difficult variation, which is one hand push-ups, and we'll gradually make it easier. Feet elevated push-ups, side to side push-ups. Just get a little bit of a pump. That's all you have to do. Don't have to worry about too much. Let's go do some one hand push-ups now that we're warmed up. One set of 6 or so. Feet shoulder width apart. Jesus, that's more challenging than I thought. With one hand push-ups, you'll find that you're using your core a lot. It almost becomes a full body exercise, and 6 reps is enough. That's if you can do 6. If you can do 8 to 10, you're pretty damn strong. The wider you have your feet, the easier it will be. And you want to stop yourself. You may have seen me kind of tilt my body a little bit. You don't want to tilt so much with your body, and try to go level as you go down. That's really what we're trying to do. Little breather, do the other side, and watch your back. Jesus, it's always fucking humbling doing one-handed push-ups, because they look kind of simple, but then you find out you can't really do that many. You could literally hear my back cracking. So that's probably one of the hardest variations of the push-up. Sometimes a little bit of muscle stimulus to one part of the body is enough to preserve muscle. Is your back gonna get bigger? Is your legs gonna get bigger? Are your legs gonna get bigger? Maybe not, but by training at all, you're signaling to your body, retain muscle, build muscle. and so you don't lose it. It's a key difference between training and not training. Now with pike push-ups, what you're trying to do is essentially change the angle at which you're going towards the ground. If push-ups are flat, pike push-ups, you're trying to attack it diagonally, and that angle is what mimics that incline press. That's why when you go to the handstand variation, you're basically making it into an overhead press. All right, so a pike push-up would be where you have your feet kind of elevated and you're really trying to make a triangle between your hands and your head. Okay, so it's like a midway between your push-up and your handstand push-up. I guess you could bring your feet in, and this will increase the angle. Okay. There we go. There's a set of pike push-ups. Doing mostly push today. Do we really want to do handstand push-ups? Can I even handle that? Let's see. The problem is it's all slanted. There's nowhere that's properly level, which is a little worrying. Maybe right here is the most level. Let's do one set of handstand push-ups and then we'll go into some legs. Let's see if we can do it, eh? So naturally the headgear comes off. You want to kind of push up here, get yourself quite close to the top. I guess I can't straighten my legs here, so you just kind of gotta feeling awkward. Gotta stop there because the angle was awkward. I don't want to injure myself. Anyways, let's get through some legs. Gonna start with some ATG split squats. Great for your entire lower body, quads, hammies, and especially the hip flexor. Hip flexors here on the opposite side of your bent leg is getting a mad stretch. Lunging forward, really pushing knees beyond the toes. Trying to keep the front heel stuck to the ground. Try to get the butt close to the heel. Keeping the back knee off the ground. It's really not as easy as it looks. Okay. And you're trying to become fluid, functional. I feel like this knees over toes motion is quite common in sports. If you actually look at soccer, basketball, jiu-jitsu, you're finding yourself in various states of, leg bend. And this is what the ATG king, Ben Patrick, speaks about. Okay, I think he was into basketball. He's talking about how important it is to train knees beyond the toes. And so it's kind of like a lunge. It does almost everything a lunge would do, but gives you extra athletic and functional benefits, mobility benefits. And yeah, I had some issues with my right hip flexor, so it's a really good exercise for me. Let's try to show it to you from a side angle. Okay. Really trying to keep the front heel on the ground, back, your butt, try to touch that heel, and your back knee is off the floor. Okay, front heel on the ground, butt trying to get to the heel, back knee off the ground. Okay, if you're into jiu-jitsu, you'll find yourself in literally positions like this, split squat positions, knee cut positions. Jiu-jitsu will teach you that you got to get strong in uncomfortable positions. There we go. That's an ATG split squat. See, that's that's more front to back, right? You're going vertically, your legs are splitting vertically, but your legs can obviously split sideways and also in diagonal planes of motion. That's why the abductors and the adductors are so important. And one other exercise that's just like the ATG split squat, but laterally, is called a Cossack squat. A Cossack squat's another insane lower body exercise, where you're literally going to one side, almost the same principles, trying to get the heel and butt connection here, heel on the ground. Oh, the stretch is crazy here. Try to keep your upper body reasonably upright. I'm not very flexible, so I struggle with this. Your toes can be on the ground or rotated up like this, okay? And with the ATG, with Cossacks, oh God, it's almost like a stretch. Okay, you can hear me making grandpa noises because my mobility is not that great. So like this, you can keep your toes on the ground or rotate it up. Really hit the adductors here. Oh, yeah. Now I find it harder to keep my heel on the ground on this side. Which suggests that my left hip flexor is less mobile than my right hip flexor. This is really a different way to train than the traditional heavy weights, bodybuilding, squats and deadlifts. I personally prefer this style. It's less taxing on your mind, less stressful, easier recovery, less chance of injury, better for mobility, better for functionality, better for becoming pain-free in the knees, the back. So why wouldn't you do it? That's probably 10, probably 12. Right there already. Everything feels a little bit better. As I said, I kind of hurt my right hip flexor. So just this body weight exercise is really good for me. Open the door, close the door. It's the soccer warm-up, which we used to do. We're gonna do one more set of another leg exercise. Actually, we might do two more. But first, do just one set of pistol squats. So basically one-legged squats. Maybe try sissy squat, which is another quad exercise. And that, we'll call it a day there. We'll call it a day. Maybe I'll do some kind of stretches a little bit. All right, pistol squats. Now, we have a downward slope here. It's actually good to do pistol squats with your heel elevated to get that butt to heel connection. So I'm gonna face this way. I'll do it facing all the ways. Okay, start with your weaker side, always, and match it on your stronger side. Now for most people, the strong side is the right. For me, I'm left-footed, left-handed. So I start with the right, okay? Slight heel elevation due to the slope. You're just sitting down, really putting your hands forward to counterbalance the weight and just pressing up. One, okay? Really pushing your hands forward, legs forward to balance it. Two, okay? It's okay if you lose balance a little bit. Boom. Three. Boom. Four. Boom. Stay here, balance here, straighten your legs here. Boom. 8, explode up. Now, a lot of people will find that challenging at the beginning. So if you want to hold on to something for balance, if you want to sit to a bench first, that's fine as well. Ain't nobody got complaints about that. Now let's try it facing the cam. Okay. All right. Again, try to counterbalance the back weight. Stay here. Boom. 1. Okay. Nice. Try to balance. All of this work to balance is working your balance. It's working your coordination, which translates to sports. You know, every athlete or sports loving person will tell you that you spend a lot of time in sports on one leg. You know? So working your balance in these one-legged positions will help your athletics. How many did I do? 6? Okay. 7. 8. Now, did I really push my legs, my upper body to complete mechanical failure? Not really, but it doesn't matter. You're on holiday. You just want to keep the body moving. You're going to eat some delicious food. I had amazing carbonara yesterday. Amazing. I cooked it, so it was amazing. So, you know, I haven't eaten much today, just a little salad. And naturally control my diet that way. If you have a big dinner, the next day you're not that hungry. If you actually think about it and you feel your body and you listen to your body, you'll find you're not actually that hungry if you ate a ton. Now in the morning, if somebody offers you a croissant and a coffee and you start eating when you're not hungry, that's going to set off a chain of events. That's going to set off a chain in your stomach where you keep wanting food the whole day. So you've got to not fall for that trap. Just fast and then, you know, eat again late afternoon dinner when you're actually hungry. Okay. Anyways, that's besides the point. You're trying to just keep the body moving. You don't need to keep things complicated. You don't need a super complex routine. Pretty much done. We did some push, we did some legs. Great. It's a full body workout, pretty much. No back, no shoulder, no... Shut up. Let's do some sissy squats. See if I can balance. Sissy squats are great for your quads. See, my balance isn't very good yet. Counterbalance. There we go. It's a good one. Counterbalance the front knee by leaning back. Oh shit. Come on. Jesus. Still one more, okay? No need to complicate it. Come on. That was easy. Still one more. Alright, this is the minimalist way to train. Do what you can. Don't use the fact that, oh, there's no gym in this freaking countryside. Don't use that as an excuse to not train. Because what did I need today? I needed nothing. I needed my body, some pants. Arguably, the pants aren't even necessary. Working on some sissy squats. And that's it. Finish off with a backflip. Just kidding. Alright. Great workout. Get some water. That's it. Bye-bye.